Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Food Plot Chronicles. Last week on Food Plot Chronicles, we went over the prep work. Killing the grasses, burning the grasses, getting prepped to plant the wall. I should say walls plural. This week, we're putting seed in the ground. Before we get started, I just want to mention my Venator cutoff shirt. I made it myself. No sleeves means it's time to party. We're putting seed in the ground today. Time to party. Once again, this Big Tine Bornderline is extremely important. You have got to be able to get in and out of your hunting spots undetected. And some of our food plots, as you'll see, are completely exposed to the road. There's nothing worse than sitting in a hunting blind, car drives by, stops, because there's a field full of deer, and now that field full of deer is a field full of nothing. So in order to take advantage of those food plots, we have to plant blockage so that nobody can see them from the road. You put so much work into the plot itself, you want to maximize the hunting efforts once the season actually comes around and starts. So here we go. Let's get that seed in the ground. One of the best food plots we got on the property because it's surrounded by some of our thickest cover and it just holds so many deer can bed in here. So this field gets heavily browsed. Very tough to grow because it gets too much pressure, but we got to put a lot of work into it, fence it, do all these things, but it can be very, very productive in hunting season. And it's very easy to access because it's close to the road, but that does give us some issues because it gets pressure from the road. So a lot of times people stop, they look at deer, this and that, which, you know, who doesn't like to do that? I get it, but it does clear the field a lot. And when that's happening in hunting season, you can't hunt it because the field's gonna be full, you know, that last hour of daylight. And if someone stops by and you're hunting and it clears the field, it kind of shuts everything down. So we want these deer to feel as comfortable as possible feeding in this food plot. Now, if you remember years ago, neighbor Josh built the Great Wall of Josh. We dozed some of this top dirt up, mounded it up as kind of this berm against the road. Now, it's not really tall enough to block the viewage of the field on its own, but it allows us to get up a little bit higher, and we just backed the tiller up and down this whole wall to create a nice seed bed, and we're going to put the borderline on the side of the wall. And eventually, once it gets to 5-6 feet and even higher, it's going to completely cover viewing into this whole side of the property, which is what we want to do. And it also blocks the noise from the road. So it really gives us two benefits. Well, then we got to put it borderline in this strip as well. And this allows us to be able to access our blind. And it also just gives a second barrier to the road in case one of these, you know, doesn't grow very well, because it's not easy to grow stuff on that side of that hill. The borderline is going in. These are little 5-pound bags, covers about 1/4 of an acre. So one really important thing that we use onX maps for in the springtime, summer, after turkey season, is we use it to map out our food plots. If you use the area shape tool in onX maps, you can literally draw shapes right around your food plot, and it tells you the exact square footage and acreage of your food plot. And that is very important when you're planting food plots, because it'll tell us exactly how much lime we need, exactly how much fertilizer, and exactly how much seed. We use it literally all the time. You can save your plots from the previous year, and the nice thing is we're always changing our plots. We're architecting different every year. So some of our plots are getting bigger, some of them are changing shape. We can go right on our map, on Onyx Map, and we can adjust and edit our plots so that we always know the perfect acreage that our plots are. We don't even have to be at our property to look up our acreage and be able to go pick up our fertilizer before we even go to the property. When we know the exact acreages of all of our little food plots, we can be the most efficient with fertilizer, seed, just finances in general. We know exactly how much we're putting down. We're not putting down too much or too little in certain areas, because you want your plots to be good. So you want to make sure you have enough lime and fertilizer on all your plots. But use Onyx Maps area shapes for your food plots. I'm telling you, it has improved our food plots so much in the last year and a half. It's crazy. We're dialing them in. We are dialing them in. Onyx Maps area shapes. Food Plot Chronicles. Well, the food plot season is officially upon us. Sure is. The borderline is going in. Dean already got probably half of it done. Yeah, well, we got about an acre in. The biggest, the most important part is already done. But they're all important. That's correct. We got a little rain coming in today, which is perfect. Planting in the rain is never a bad thing. And that's about it. We got a little work to do. We gotta go get some turning, fertilizing, and broadcast the seed, run it over. And hopefully it rains this afternoon. If not, it's gonna rain Friday, so it should be fine. Should be good. Should be fine. Earlier you get the borderline in, the better. Taller it grows. Give it time. We're a couple weeks earlier than we were last year. Everything we have. We're going on. Third borderline blend going all in this area right here so we can access the back. So we gotta fertilize it. That's what we're doing right now. As avid whitetail hunters, you know as well as I do, whitetail season is now 365 days a year. And this hard work that we put in the summertime is crucial to maximizing our time in the tree stand or in the blind come fall. We got our borderline seed in the ground. The wall is ready to be built. And next week, we are planting corn and beans. What? Yeah, we're planting corn and beans. It's a big one. Thank you guys so much again for watching. We will see you right here next episode on Food Plot Chronicles. And please, do not hesitate to leave us a comment, ask us a question in the comment section below. And no matter what you're doing today, make sure and have some fun.